Helen, 72, loved her evening glass of wine. It helped her unwind, reminded her of old dinner parties with her late husband. But one night, she stood up too quickly, dizzy, a fall, a fractured hip. In the ER, her doctor didn't just talk about age, he talked about alcohol interacting with her blood pressure meds. Most seniors don't realize this, but after 65, your liver loses up to 40% of its alcohol processing capacity. Your kidneys slow down. Your sleep becomes more fragile. According to the Lancet Public Health, even light to moderate drinking increases cognitive decline by 35% in older adults, not to mention the risks to balance, heart, and medication safety. You've earned every year of your life. You shouldn't have to give up celebration, but you do deserve to celebrate wisely. This video isn't about shaming anyone. It's about reclaiming your power, knowing what works for your changing body, and avoiding hidden dangers in that seemingly harmless glass. Because not all alcohol is created equal and not all alternatives are boring. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 4 types of alcohol you should avoid after 65 and 4 smarter, satisfying alternatives that let you enjoy the ritual without the risks. You'll walk away not with guilt, but with confidence. So, are you ready to protect your clarity, your balance, and your freedom? Let's begin. Number 1. Hard liquor. A neat glass of whiskey, a quiet shot of vodka, maybe a little rum in your evening cola. It feels traditional, familiar, even comforting. But after 65, hard liquor becomes a fast-moving danger your body can no longer outpace. Why? Your liver now metabolizes alcohol more slowly. Your tolerance has dropped. Your nervous system? Far more sensitive. That same shot you once handled with ease now travels faster in your bloodstream, hitting your brain and balance harder than you think. According to the CDC, falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in older adults. And hard liquor is a silent accomplice, dehydrating your system, dropping your blood pressure, blurring your vision and reaction time. A nightcap becomes a fall risk. But that's not all. Strong spirits often clash dangerously with medications. Blood pressure pills, sleep aids, antidepressants, the mix can lead to heart rhythm issues, severe drowsiness, even respiratory problems. Not tomorrow, tonight. Hard liquor doesn't just cost you a hangover, it can cost you your clarity, your mobility, even your independence. This isn't about judgment, it's about protecting what you've worked decades to build. Your health, your mind, your freedom. So if that glass of whiskey still feels like a treat, ask yourself, is it worth the trade? Let's move on to the next drink that wears a sweet disguise, but carries its own risks. Number 2. Sweet wines. Wine coolers. A glass of sweet wine seems so harmless. It doesn't burn going down. It smells like berries and comfort. It's the drink of holidays, quiet dinners, cherished moments. For many seniors, it feels safer than the hard stuff. But behind that sweetness lies a silent threat, one your aging body may no longer be equipped to handle. Most commercially produced sweet wines and flavored wine coolers are packed with added sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives like sulfites. They might taste light, but biologically, they hit hard. For nearly 1 in 4 seniors living with diabetes, these drinks can spike blood sugar rapidly. Sharp glycemic swings bring fatigue, blurred vision, mood crashes, and over time, damage to nerves, kidneys, even eyes. Sulfites, while used to keep the drink fresh, have been linked to headaches, inflammation, and respiratory irritation, especially in seniors with asthma or weakened lungs. Then there's the acidity, a slow erosion of tooth enamel and a silent trigger for acid reflux. What feels light-hearted becomes heavy over time, subtly weighing down digestion, inflaming joints, disrupting sleep. And the worst part? These drinks give a false sense of safety. It's not about blaming tradition, it's about seeing through the disguise. Because after 65, sugar is no longer just a taste, it's a decision with consequences. Up next, the drink that hides behind a light label, but may be quietly fueling chronic issues you thought were just aging. Number 3. Beer. For many, beer is more than a drink, it's a memory. Backyard barbecues, Sunday football, laughs with old friends. And among alcohol choices, light beer is often seen as the safe, sensible option. Low alcohol, low fuss, right? Not quite. Behind the gentle fizz and golden color, beer, especially light beer, can quietly work against your health in ways that add up over time. First, the carbohydrates and refined starches in beer convert rapidly to sugar, spiking blood glucose and crashing your energy. For the nearly 50% of older adults who are pre-diabetic, that's not minor, it's metabolic sabotage. Next, beer is rich in purines, which raise uric acid levels and increase the risk of gout, a painful inflammatory condition that becomes more common after 60. One cold bottle could lead to days of joint pain and limited mobility. Beer also acts as a diuretic, meaning it dehydrates you, worsens nighttime urination, and disrupts sleep, all of which contribute to memory fog, poor balance, and fatigue symptoms often blamed on aging, but really rooted in what's in your glass. And yet, it's marketed as the easy drink. But aging doesn't make beer safer, it makes its impact sharper. You deserve moments of joy, but you also deserve to protect your clarity, your strength, your sleep. Next up, the most dangerous drink of all, because it doesn't just hit fast, it hides under layers of sweetness. Number 4, cocktails, mixed drinks. It looks fun. A little umbrella, a fruity swirl, a festive glass. Cocktails are social, stylish, and oh so smooth until they're not. For seniors, mixed drinks are often the most deceptive and dangerous. Here's why. Cocktails combine hard liquor with sweet mixers like fruit, juice, syrups, soda, a double hit of alcohol and sugar. It feels gentle going down, but that's the trap. You don't feel the buzz until it's too late. In social settings, this leads to overconsumption. Your brain reacts slower, your balance weakens, and your medication schedule completely thrown off. The high sugar content sends blood glucose soaring, especially risky for those with diabetes or insulin resistance. Then comes the crash: fatigue, mood swings, and potential danger. Worse still, many cocktails contain artificial additives and dyes which burden your liver, worsen acid reflux, and increase inflammation. When mixed with common meds like antidepressants, sedatives, or heart pills, the result can be unpredictable and unsafe. This isn't about missing out on joy, it's about removing the disguises joy sometimes wears. Because in your 60s and beyond, the price of just one drink isn't a hangover, it's a confused night, a foggy morning, a fall you didn't see coming. But here's the good news: not all drinks steal clarity. Some restore it. Let's discover what those are, starting with a red classic that in the right amount may help your brain, your heart, and even your memory. Number 5, red wine. There's something timeless about red wine. It's elegant, warming. It invites conversation, slows down the evening, and feels like a small luxury in a busy world. And for seniors, it might just be one of the few alcoholic drinks that in the right dose offers more than just a pleasant buzz. Unlike hard liquor or sugary cocktails, red wine, especially darker varieties, contains resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant found in grape skins. Studies suggest it may improve heart health, boost circulation, and even protect memory by reducing inflammation in the brain. A modest 5-ounce glass, a few times a week, may help raise good HDL cholesterol and support your arteries. But more than that, it can offer something emotional, a sense of normalcy, comfort, and even dignity when consumed with awareness. The key is moderation. Too much, and red wine becomes like any other alcohol. It can strain your liver, disrupt sleep, elevate blood pressure. The magic lies in restraint. For better tolerance, choose organic, low-sulfite wines, and always drink it with food, healthy fats, or lean protein to soften the impact on your stomach and slow alcohol absorption. You're not drinking for escape, you're drinking for presence. And when done mindfully, red wine becomes more than a beverage, it becomes a ritual that celebrates both taste and health. But what if you want something even gentler, something that gives you the joy of the glass, but with even fewer risks? Let's meet the next alternative. Number 6. Low-ABV, Spritzers. Imagine this: a tall glass, fizzing gently with bubbles. A slice of lemon floating on top. A cool, refreshing sip that lifts your spirits but leaves your head clear. That's the magic of a spritzer. By blending a small amount of wine, red, white, or rosé with sparkling water, a low-ABV spritzer turns a standard drink into something far more senior-friendly. It reduces alcohol content, hydrates you, and lets you enjoy the social ritual without the mental fog, dizziness, or nighttime disruptions. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving. Kidneys are more sensitive, balance is more delicate, and sleep, that precious pillar of health, gets easily disrupted by alcohol. Spritzers respect that reality. They slow you down, encourage sipping, not gulping, keep you present, not numb. Add a twist of citrus, a few fresh berries, a sprig of mint, and suddenly you're not just drinking, you're creating a moment. Even better, they signal something to others. You're still part of the celebration, but you're doing it on your own terms. Light, elegant, and thoughtful spritzers aren't a compromise, they're an evolution. So, if you miss the clink of the glass, but not the after effects, this might be your perfect middle ground. But what if we go even further? What if there were drinks that nourish your gut, lift your mood, and support your energy all without a single drop of alcohol? Let's take that next step. Number 7. Kombucha. Sometimes the body whispers before it shouts. A sluggish digestion, a foggy head, a mood that just won't lift. That's where kombucha comes in, not as a trend, but as a gentle act of self-care. Kombucha is a naturally fermented tea made with live cultures, light carbonation, and just a hint of sweetness. And it offers something alcohol can't: support for your gut, the very foundation of your immunity, energy, and even cognition. As we age, digestion slows down, nutrient absorption becomes less efficient. Many seniors struggle with bloating, constipation, or fatigue, all signs of a gut out of balance. Kombucha delivers probiotics, B vitamins, and organic acids that help restore that balance. It doesn't dull your mind, it sharpens it. It doesn't dehydrate you, it hydrates and energizes. And the best part? It still feels like a treat. Pour it into a fancy glass, add ice, a twist of lime, and it becomes a ritual one that lifts your health, not weighs it down. Prefer the lowest alcohol option? Choose labeled 0.5% or less, or non-alcoholic versions, now widely available. Kombucha isn't about giving something up, it's about gaining clarity, energy, and comfort. And if you're wondering whether it's too late to change habits, remember, small swaps like this can lead to big improvements in digestion, sleep, and daily vitality. Ready for one final option that brings calm, joy, and celebration with zero alcohol and maximum benefit? Let's explore. Number 8. Mocktails. Not every celebration needs a buzz. Sometimes, it just needs intention. Mocktails infused with herbal adaptogens are a revelation, not just a substitute, but an upgrade. Ingredients like ashwagandha, lemon balm, mint, ginger, or chamomile do more than refresh. They soothe your nerves, balance your mood, and gently energize without pushing your system. For seniors dealing with anxiety, poor sleep, or fatigue from medications, these herbs offer a natural alternative, one that supports instead of stresses. No alcohol, no sugar crash, no blurry mornings. Just presence, clarity, and a glass that feels joyful in your hand because it is. These drinks remind us, you don't have to dull your senses to feel included. You can stay sharp, stay calm, and still raise a glass with friends and family. Add fresh herbs, citrus, sparkling water, and every sip becomes an act of wellness disguised as pleasure. Mocktails aren't missing anything. They're adding everything that matters: clarity, strength, joy. So here we are, not at the end, but at the beginning of something better. You've learned what to avoid, you've seen what to embrace, and more importantly, you've been reminded that growing older isn't about restriction, it's about evolution. Every drink you choose is a message to your body. I respect you. I want you to stay sharp. I choose joy without regret. Whether it's red wine in moderation, a fizzy spritzer, kombucha, or a calming mocktail, the celebration doesn't end. It simply grows wiser. This video wasn't about giving up alcohol. It was about reclaiming your power over your clarity, your energy, and your independence. So, tell me, what's one change you'll make starting today? Comment below and say, "I choose strength," if you're ready to protect the best years ahead. Let's raise a glass to living better, longer, and on our own terms.